The following program is presented by Merrimack resident Juanita Dangel. The views and opinions expressed in this video do not necessarily reflect those of the Town of Merrimack, its media division, and/or its boards and committees.
Hello, my name is Juanita Dangel, and welcome to the 2024 special edition of Our Town, Our Government, How Does It Work? Today we'll be presenting the 2024 candidates for the Merrimack School District and for the Merrimack Town elections. You'll be hearing only from candidates in races that are contested. There are more candidates running who were not able to be filmed for this program. Please consider looking into their campaigns also before the election on April the 9th. There are 4 contested races this year in the Merrimack School District. There are 7 articles being voted on this cycle. 2 articles do not have unanimous approval by the school board and/or the budget committee. And those articles are Article number 2. This concerns the appropriation of $4,800,000 for the construction of a new central office, plus $120,000 for interest cost on the bonds or notes during the 2024 to 25 year. And Article 8. This concerns appropriating $93,285,848 for the operating budget this year. If this is not passed, the default budget would be $91,301,349. A sample ballot can be found on the Merrimack School District website, sau26.org. 5 candidates are running for 2 positions for the school board 3-year term. They are Emily Rauscher Booten, Jenna Hardy, Lori Peters, Heather Robitaille, and Anthony Santorelli. 4 candidates are running for 2 positions for the Planning and Building Committee for a 3-year term, and they are Caitlin Kelly Bernier, Richard Hendricks, Anthony Santoriello, and Michael Alukonis. And please forgive me if I don't pronounce their names correctly. 8 candidates are running for 4 positions for the Budget Committee 3-year term. They are Brian Trant, Ellen Wilson, Shane Albuquerque, Marie Berry, Joanne Grobecker, Sarah Locke, Mackenzie Murphy, and Anthony Santoriello. 6 candidates are running for 2 positions for the Budget Committee 2-year term, and they are Caitlin Kelly Bernier, Angela Brown, Tiffany Castorucci Trant, Cinda Guglielmi, Shannon Rand, Caitlin Sweetser. In the Merrimack Town elections, there are 3 contested races and 11 articles to be voted upon this year. Articles 2 through 10 were unanimously recommended by the Town Council. Article 11, by petition, requests that $1 million be appropriated for the development of town-owned land for multiple-use athletic fields. Article 12, by petition, reads, shall the Merrimack Police Department maintain standard operating procedures consistent with New Hampshire State Police fair and impartial policing practices? A sample ballot can be found at the Merrimack Town website, merrimacknh.gov. 4 candidates are running for 3 positions for Town Councilor for a 3-year term, and they are Tom Koenig, Nancy Harrington, Charles LaFond, and Nancy Murphy. 2 candidates are running for 1 position for the Ethic Committee for a 3-year term, and they are Heather Robitaille and Charles LaFond. 2 candidates are running for 1 position for Supervisor of the Checklist for a 6-year term. They are Margie Petrovic, Max Abramson. And now, here are the candidates.
Hi, my name is Jenna Hardy, and I'm running for re-election to the Merrimack School Board. I am a resident of Merrimack pretty much my whole life. I was raised here, I went to school here, and though I lived away for the 4 years I went to college and a little bit of time when my husband and I first got married, this is where we chose to come back and raise our kids. So we've been back here for a long time. I think shortly before my son started kindergarten. So that was in 2009. So people ask me, you know, why are you running for the school board? What got you interested in this in the first place? And I have to say, it's my kids. I have 4 children. My husband and I have 4 children. One is a 2021 graduate of Merrimack High School who is now going to college in Kentucky. I have a senior at Merrimack High School, a junior at Merrimack High School, and a 5th grader who attends JMUES. And so my time in the Merrimack School District, not only as a student when I was a kid, and I started my career here as a teacher, it really is about my kids. For all of these years, 15 years, I've been involved in the Merrimack School District as a mom, like so many of you. And I have done all the things, the room mom and the popcorn popping at JMUES and selling ice cream at the middle school and, you know, volunteering for track meets or soccer games or all sorts of various things. And so my kids' deep involvement in the Merrimack School District has pulled me in. And as a mom to 4 kids, I'm interested in what they're interested in. I'm interested in what impacts them. And so that is why I got involved and started paying attention. And then COVID hit. And that is when I jumped in and I started getting involved because I thought it was a good time for me to step up and get involved in what was going on in the education in Merrimack. I am also a public school educator. I have my master's degree in education and I work at a public school in a surrounding town. So I was elected to the board, thanks to all of you, in 2021, I believe. I started on the board in October of 2020 when I was appointed from the Budget Committee. But then I was elected in 2021 and I've served for the last 3 years on the board. Wow, that has been a wonderful, challenging experience that has made me dig into my integrity and my courage in ways that I never would have anticipated. But I have found it to be so rewarding. When I ran last time, I was very aware that the number one thing the board was going to have to tackle when I joined was helping us recover from the COVID pandemic and all of the damage that had done to so many people in a million different ways, but definitely to education and to students in school. I was seeing it obviously in my own house. And I am so proud of the work that our board has done over the last 3 years. I'm proud to have been a part of it. Just a few highlights of the things that I'm proudest of. First of all, we hired 2 new incredible leaders for our district. Mr. Olson, our incredible superintendent of schools, although I guess we call him our CEO, Chief Educational Officer, and Amy Doyle, our assistant superintendent for curriculum. When I tell you that these 2 people are exceptional, and I am so proud of the work that they do, I honestly can't say it emphatically enough. I'm excited that we brought them here. I'm excited for the changes they're bringing by looking at our district and saying, these are the things that we think need to change. And our board has been able to sit down with them each year, make goals, and really chase hard after them over the last few years. I'm super proud of that. Part of those goals, what we have done is we have transformed Merrimack's literacy instruction from K to 6. We have gone from balanced literacy, which was a thing across the country for many years, but many school districts are making the transition to the science of reading, and it is to benefit students. It's to make sure they are getting proper phonemic awareness instruction. It's to make sure that they are getting the absolute best literacy instruction that we can offer them to help close the gaps that are being created, that were created during the pandemic. So Amy Doyle has spearheaded that, and the board has been behind that, and I'm proud to have voted for those things and to have advocated for those things to be included in the budget. Which is a hard thing. I understand that, you know, my parents still live here in town. I understand that retirees are concerned about the tax rate. And certainly we don't want to ask for more than we need. But when we need to improve education, I'm proud of the fact we've said this is something we need to invest in and that we've done it. And we are going to see the results over the next few years, I have no doubt. We've also added some reading interventionist at the elementary school, which is to help those who don't qualify for special ed, but who need more than regular instruction to succeed, to help meet their educational needs so that they don't end up in special education, which costs far, far more. We also adopted iReady as our assessment and intervention tool in K-6. My own child uses it, and wow, the growth that we have seen as a result of that has been incredible, and I can't wait for the town to see the results in June when we present them as a board. One of the other things I'm proudest of, and one of the reasons another reason I jumped in to run in the first place, is because teachers and support staff deserve to be paid exceptionally well. They deserve to be paid fair wages. The jobs they do are so difficult, and our pay in Merrimack was not competitive with surrounding communities. I am proud to say that our board, myself and my colleagues on the board, have voted to make sure we've negotiated contracts with the Teachers Association and with MESA that will ensure that our town has competitive salary and benefits so that we can attract and retain the best that we can afford here in Merrimack. On that note, I want to ask you to please vote for the MESA contract. It is on the ballot this year, and I really, really, really would love to give that to our support staff. Please vote yes for the support staff contract. I think it's Article 4 off the top of my head. Another thing we have to work on here is our graduation rate. We have to make sure our kids are graduating and they're completing their high school education so they can use that as their foundation for whatever they want to do in the future. And one of the things that our board has done is hired a director of pathways to graduation so that he can help run our adult education program where kids can do credit recovery and they can finish classes that they maybe struggled through and so that they are able to finish. I think I heard that now I might get this wrong, so I think it's either 14 or 16 kids were at risk of possibly not graduating this year, and as a result of the adult education program and the pathways to graduation program, 12 of them will. That is huge. That's a win for Merrimack, and I'm really excited about all of that. But I want you to know that as voters, because you vote for people on the board and because you approve our operating budgets and the items that we have on the warrant articles, you are part of those successes as well. And I want to help continue to serve Merrimack so we can keep moving in the right direction. We have done so much in K-6, and we've done some things at the middle and the high school, but I think we really have more work to do, and I would love to be part of it. So I would ask you to vote for me, Jenna Hardy, on April 9th, because I would love to continue to serve the students and families and community members here in Merrimack. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Heather Robitaille, and I'm running for school board. I've been a Merrimack resident for over 20 years, and I live here with my husband Rob and our daughter Katie, who attends school at Thorntons Ferry. Ever since I was a teenager, I've been committed to volunteerism and giving back to my community. I spent nearly 10 years volunteering as a martial arts instructor, where I got to teach children not only self-defense, but also discipline, leadership, confidence, and teamwork. In my professional career, I worked for almost 10 years at Fidelity Investments right here in Merrimack. In my role as a senior manager, I developed financial knowledge as well as strategic execution, teamwork, and leadership skills. During my time at Fidelity, I also participated in many of the Fidelity Cares volunteer initiatives until I had the opportunity to stay home with my daughter after she was born. Once Katie began school at Merrimack PTA Kindergarten and Preschool, I got involved with helping to support the students, staff, and families there. I enjoyed being an active volunteer and served on the board for 2 years before Katie started attending school at Thorntons Ferry. I am now serving in my second year as president of the Parents and Teachers of Thorntons Ferry with an amazing team where we bring together administrators, educators, and families. Outside of our schools, I also coach for the Girls on the Run program and volunteer with the Girl Scouts, where I help the children in our community learn important life skills. Over the last 4 years, I have actively watched and participated in our school board meetings and am currently serving on the Merrimack School District Budget Committee. In my time on the Budget Committee, I have been able to be the liaison for the high school and Student Services Department. These experiences gave me a much deeper understanding about our district, about its successes, its opportunities, and also the concerns of our community. I decided to run for school board so I could have a direct role in ensuring every child in our district reaches their highest educational potential. I am committed to making sure that our district continues to build and improve upon the progress it has made. At our most recent deliberative session, I made an amendment to a petition in order to keep all political agendas out of our students' curriculum. I am a strong supporter of our MESA contract and all our credible staff that are the heart and soul of our schools. If elected to the school board, the areas that I would like to focus on are community collaboration and communication, high school graduation rates, special education, and focus on our budget as well. In the areas of community collaboration and communication, I would like to make sure that we are soliciting input from our key stakeholders, our students, families, staff in our community when making decisions, and that our staff has the ability to communicate seamlessly over something similar to an overarching intranet that allows them to talk effectively and quickly. High school graduation rates, we know, is critical. It is not a simple thing to fix, but it's very important that we do. I believe that we need to continue to focus on literacy and early intervention. Improving reading scores will improve math scores and allow students to better regulate and therefore learn. We continue to examine overall curriculum, ensuring that it aligns with state standards and develops students to be future ready, whether that future be in the trades, in a career, in college, or service in our military. We need to catch students before high school. Students who become disengaged earlier in school are at a much higher risk for dropping out, which limits their future opportunities and earning potential. This is done by focusing on student supports, using a formal process to identify kids at risk, tracking, using data, targeted interventions, mentors and helpers, and leveraging our guidance counselors. Every student should feel connected to someone at their school so they know that they are cared about and someone's rooting for their success. This will lead to increased engagement and academic success, as well as decrease behaviors that can be a distraction to the education process. By breaking down barriers for education, such as administrative obstacles, and focusing on competencies, using extended learning opportunities, and assisting with make-up work will help our children succeed. With special education, I believe we need to continue to ensure free and appropriate public education for all students. We need to review and ensure that all students on IEPs and 504 plans have the supports in place to help them access their education. No student should fall through the cracks regardless of the level of support they need. We need to make sure that we are identifying and using early intervention whenever possible, and examining staffing and contractors to determine if we have the proper supports and systems in place to address our children's educational needs. Families should not have to fight to get data or communication to have their students' needs met. And lastly, the area of budget. This is something that we've heard from the community is incredibly important. And my goal as a member of the school board would be to make sure that we are balancing the needs of our district with the concerns of our taxpayers. I would support focusing on areas that do not have a direct negative impact to our students. If and when curricula does need to be cut, I would ask that we identify, plan how to address those gaps by soliciting feedback from our students, from staff, and from families. I ask for your vote on April 9th because I have a proven track record of community involvement, and I bring diversity to the board in that I am not, nor have I worked as an educator or administrator. I am a strong supporter of them and have had the opportunity to work as a substitute teacher, which has been an incredibly gratifying and humbling experience. I want to be a voice for our schools, and I want to be a voice for our community. So on April 9th, please vote Heather Robitaille for school board.
Hi everybody, I am Anthony Santoriello and I am running for the Merrimack School Board. I am a Merrimack father of 2 wonderful children who are just getting started at their school careers at Mastrocola. I'm an engineer by trade, I have a PhD and a master's in business administration, and I spend my days managing projects and scope and budgets and managing the success of the projects I work on. As a father and Merrimack resident, I am running to do my civic duty and to serve Merrimack with the same skills that I use every day in my professional career. If elected, I will focus on 3 key goals. Number 1, academic performance. We want our students thriving and achieving academic objectives. Unfortunately, our test scores and student progress ratings are low. In the wake of the pandemic, our teachers and administrators and staff have worked so hard to help us recover, but there's still work ahead. Number 2, responsible budgets. Our school budget expended 2 years ago was $80 million. This year, the budget is proposed at $93 million. A lot of people are asking, why so much increase? And that's a valid question. Combine those 2 topics and you get transparency. I sincerely believe that clearly presenting our fundamental budget details and curriculum goals and performance benchmarking to the community is vital. If elected, I will work very hard to improve the quality of information that we report out to the community. It is very important to me. So thank you, Merrimack. Please vote Anthony Santoriello for school board on April 9th. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Kelly Bernier, and I'm running for the Planning and Building Committee, and I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I have lived in Merrimack my entire childhood, graduated the class of 2004, and have lived here about 30 years collectively so far, with no intentions of leaving. I worked at Target for 9 years as the logistics executive, managing a $35 million store. And unfortunately, I had a severe work injury resulting in long-term complications, leading to my family being on a fixed income. I'm a parent of 2 elementary-age children in our district with a passion for helping our schools and our community. I am currently the vice president of the Parents and Teachers Together at Mastrocola Elementary School, where we just completed our first phase of our playground improvements. I wanted to give you a few reasons why you might want to vote for me. I have been from here, as I had said, and I've seen the growth in our population and what that means for our students. I have accountability, transparency, high scope, big picture perspective thinking, and am able to communicate clear and concisely while also being able to balance our taxpayers' concerns and meeting the district's needs while also being financially responsible. I think it's very important that we set up our children and our futures for success. Please vote for me, Caitlin Kelly Bernier, for the Building and Planning Committee on April 9th. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I am Anthony Santoriello and I'm running for the Planning and Building Committee. I am a Merrimack father of 2 who are just getting started in their school careers. One is going into 2nd grade and the other starts kindergarten next year. The Planning and Building Committee looks at long-range school district needs. If elected to this or any other role, my focus will still be on responsible budgets and improving transparency on budget and spending. Today, Merrimack is an amazing place to raise a family. I love that, and I want to help keep it that way. And that is why I am running. So thank you, Merrimack. Vote Anthony on April 9th.
My name is Brian Tran, and I have resided in Merrimack for the past 24 years. My wife and I were only 23 and 24 when we decided to purchase our first home here. When making this decision, we took into consideration many factors. Two of the most important factors were the cost of living and the quality of education. I decided to run for School Budget Committee because my experience as a long-term resident, combined with being a local business owner and father, provides valuable insights into our wants and needs of our community. I fully understand the importance of transparency and accountability in governance, and I also believe by prioritizing the needs of the students and listening to the taxpayers' input, we can make wise decisions for the budget and only contribute to a better future for Merrimack. Making informed decisions, identifying cost-saving measures, and engaging with taxpayers and educators will allow me to bring a perspective that will be very important in serving on the Budget Committee. Financial literacy, analytical thinking, communication skills, and strategic planning are only a few of the skill sets I plan to bring to the table if elected. All of these skills and qualities will contribute to a sound financial stewardship, promote educational excellence, and support the overall well-being of every student and our community. I am dedicated to showing Merrimack my commitment to ensuring that the education system serves all families effectively and brings fairness to our pockets. Please make it a point to come out and vote for me, Brian Trant, on April 9th for the School Budget Committee. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marie Berry, and I'm running for the School Budget Committee. My reasons for running are twofold. One, I'm concerned about the rankings, the declining rankings in our schools. And two, we have the highest per pupil expenditure on our schools compared to 10 of the surrounding communities. Yet, 7 of those communities have higher rankings than Merrimack does. Why is that? We should not be spending more and getting less. I am a retired high school science teacher, having spent the last 23 years of my career at Merrimack High School. I'm also a 40-year Merrimack resident and the proud parent of Merrimack High School graduates. I want to contribute my experience and my knowledge to help support the schools so that we have the best benefits for the students, the teachers, and the taxpayers. I want to see Merrimack remain a viable community for young families who want their children to have an excellent education, and I want them to be able to stay here for that. I want to see our seniors be able to stay in their homes and have reasonable taxes. I want to see homeowners be able to retain their property values living in a community that has highly rated schools. I ask for your vote. I want to earn your support. If I'm elected, I'll work for all constituencies to help provide the best possible education for the most reasonable cost. On April 9th, I ask you to go to your polling place and cast your vote. Thank you. Again, it's Marie Berry.
Hi, my name is Joanne Grobecker, and I'm running for Budget Committee. My husband and I have lived in Merrimack for 17 years, and we have 2 daughters in public school and a new puppy. My father is Mr. Sawyer, who taught in Merrimack for 39 years. I had a previous career in finance at Fidelity, so I understand the burden that taxes and inflation place on retirees. I'm a Girl Scout leader for both daughters' Girl Scout troops and a school volunteer. I have also substitute taught at the high school. My bachelor's degree is in English teaching, and I'm pursuing my master's degree in literacy while working in special education. I have knowledge of what all students need to be successful. My passion is that every child learns to read in the most cost-effective way. My priority is to create a budget that is efficient with our tax dollars while improving educational outcomes for all children. I look forward to serving the people of Merrimack. Please vote for me, Joanne Grobecker, for Budget Committee on April 9th.
Hi everybody, I'm Anthony Santoriello and I am running for the Budget Committee. I'm a Merrimack, father of 2 wonderful children who are just getting started in their school careers. I have a PhD and a Master's of Business Administration, and I spend my days managing projects and scope and budgets. I am running to do my civic duty and to serve Merrimack with those same skills I use every day in my professional career. If elected to the Budget Committee, my focus will be on 2 key goals: responsible budgets and improving budget and spend transparency. This year, the school budget is proposed at $93 million. Include the budget articles, and we have $102 million worth of proposed taxes on the ballot. That's a big number, and Merrimack residents just want to know more. I spent hours reviewing the available information, and I still have so many questions. I sincerely believe that I can help the school present the information more clearly so Merrimack residents can do meaningful analysis of the budgets and have healthy, informed conversations about it. I remember at the school deliberative sessions back in March, there were some very strong polarized beliefs about the budget, and I fundamentally believe that better reporting can help us work together, and I can help with that. I look forward to digging into the details and helping you be informed. So please vote Anthony Santoriello for the Budget Committee on April 9th. Thank you, Merrimack.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Kelly Bernier, and I'm running for the School Budget Committee. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm running. I have lived in Merrimack my entire childhood and graduated the class of 2004, about 30 years collectively so far, and plenty more to come. I worked at Target for 9 years as the executive of logistics and managing about a $35 million store on a day-to-day basis. Unfortunately, a severe work injury resulted in long-term complications, leading to my family needing to be on a fixed income. I am a parent of 2 elementary school children in our district with a passion for helping our schools and our community. I was previously on our student wellness committee and even put on a free community event that we had called It Takes a Village, because it really does. I am currently the vice president of the Parents and Teachers Together at MES, where we have just finished the first phase of our playground improvements. I have noticed recently at the committee meetings that we have heard concerns from our students about program cuts and from our community about the tax increases that we already have to contend with. We need committee members who can appreciate both of these concerns simultaneously and is able to use big picture thinking to problem solve without missing any of the details. I understand firsthand about living on a fixed income with young children and the impact that inflation and taxes have on our community. We need to think strategically for our children and for our future. Please vote for me, Caitlin Kelly Bernier, for the Budget Committee on April 9th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Castellucci, and my family and I chose to move to Merrimack 2.5 decades ago. At that time, we based our decision on all Merrimack had to offer for a growing family. The school district was flourishing, the community was extremely welcoming and safe, the taxes were low, and undeniably, this town was beautiful. I have chosen to run for School Budget Committee to ensure that the voices of all families are heard. In a role in Merrimack's future, I promise to put the education of the children first, while at the same time keeping the taxpayers in mind. By making wise decisions for both education and tax impact, we can work diligently to meet or exceed expectations. I am dedicated to showing our community my commitment to ensuring that the education system serves all families effectively. Having a Bachelor's of Science degree, being a co-owner of a local business, as well as being a mom, I have the means to bring diverse perspectives that will help enhance the quality of decision-making and reveal effective solutions. As a candidate for the School Budget Committee, I understand the importance of balancing the needs of the community with responsible financial management. Having a new face to bring fresh ideas and knowledge to the table is always an asset to any governing board. Remember, your voice is my commitment. Please consider voting for me, Tiffany Castellucci, on April 9th for School Budget Committee. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shannon Rand, and I am running for the 2-year term School Budget Committee. Merrimack isn't just a town for me. It's my home, it's my sanctuary, the place where I've witnessed the power of community firsthand. I've purchased my first home here 20 years ago, and my children have grown and thrived in the Merrimack School District. Every corner of this town holds a piece of my heart. And for nearly 7 years, I've had the privilege of working for the Merrimack School District. For the first year, I was a substitute teacher in the middle school and high school, and I was a paraeducator at Reeds Ferry Elementary School for 6 years. I've seen the dedication of our educators, the resiliency of our students, and the unwavering support of our families. Through my involvement with PFA at Reeds Ferry and local sports teams, I've experienced the strength of our community spirit too, as we've come together to support one another's children at sports and curricular activities. Now, I bring with me not only years of experience, but a deep commitment to ensuring that every child in Merrimack has the opportunity to excel. My time as the PFA treasurer has further honed my skills in budget management and innovativeness and thinking, qualities that I believe are essential to leading in the Merrimack School Budget Committee. But beyond the numbers and policy, it's the faces of our kids that drive me for this passion and this role. I see their potential and their hopes and their future, and I'm committed to creating an environment where they can all thrive academically. With that said, I'm also aware of how much inflation has risen and how many of our families are trying to figure out if they need to move out of district because they can't afford the taxes anymore. It pains me to see people like myself being pushed out of Merrimack when this has been their only home. Please know, I believe in transparency, collaboration, and above all, putting our children first, but being mindful of our families' financial situations. If you vote for me, I can ensure that every dollar is spent wisely, every decision is made with care, and every child given the chance to shine in Merrimack. Please consider voting for me, Shannon Rand, on April 9th for the 2-year term Merrimack School Budget Committee. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tom Koenig. I want to thank you for this opportunity to introduce myself and to ask for your consideration in the upcoming town election. And my thanks to Juanita Dangel and the staff at Merrimack TV for their help in putting this together. As I said, my name is Tom Koenig, and I'm running for one of 3 available seats on the town council, one that I have occupied for quite a few years now and would be honored to have 3 more years to serve Merrimack. Please consider casting one of your votes for Tom Koenig for town council on April 9th. So who am I? I was born in Louisiana. I went to college in Arizona and have lived in Massachusetts, Illinois, and Texas. But I've been here in Merrimack, New Hampshire for 33 years now, and this place is my home. I love this place. My wife, Chris, and I, with 4 children, moved here in 1991, and we stuck. But why me? Why Tom Koenig? Experience for one reason. I first started serving in the early 2000s when we had a board of selectmen with 5 members. We transitioned to a town council with 7 members when we voted in a town charter, and Nancy Harrington and I were serving during that transition. I took a short break and served on the planning board before coming back to the town council. Another reason is purpose. My purpose is in serving to help make Merrimack the best place it can be. I have always worked to be fiscally conservative, to keep the budget in as much control as possible, to provide the best leadership we can afford, to make decisions with as much information as possible, and always to work for the best of Merrimack as a community. Openness and reasoning. I'm an engineer by training. I want to understand the why and how of things that are being proposed. Thus, I ask questions to understand and that I think you need to know. Sometimes those questions have been answered for me already, but need to be repeated in public for your benefit. My efforts are to make sure that people are aware of what is going on and why. The town council does not operate in the dark. It's your town, and as much as possible, you should know and understand what is going on and why. This year's budget is going up, and that's a hard pill to swallow. But given the inflation of the past years, we have worked hard to keep our employees trained and paid equitably and to hold the line on expenses as much as possible. With your help, we've been able to avoid borrowing money to keep equipment, machinery, and buildings working in this town, and we've managed to rebuild our aging wastewater treatment facility to stay in compliance with federal regulations. These are interesting times that we live in, and we must remain vigilant and aware as Merrimack grows to ensure that we keep our town a great place to live and raise a family. Please join me as we move forward. Please support the town budget, the union contracts, and the Capital Reserve Fund deposits. And please vote for Tom Koenig for Town Council. Thank you, Merrimack.
Hi, I'm Nancy Harrington, and I'm running for re-election to the Town Council 3-year position. I suppose I should tell you a little bit about myself first, some personal information. I've been a resident of Merrimack since 1972. Yes, that was a long time ago, when there was only 7,000 residents, and one stop sign, actually a stoplight, which was by the Rite Aids, and one exit, which was exit 11, and yes, it was a toll even then. I have 2 children. I have a son and a daughter. Son and his family still live in Merrimack. They did attend the Merrimack schools all through and have successful, fortunately, good successful lives now. I am an RN. I did a lot of my clinical experiences in mostly southern New Hampshire. And I also was in nursing education and administration, and I retired in 2015. Now, you're probably going to want to know what I stand for. In my mind, I have 3 priorities, and they really are interrelated. 1 is taxes, 2 is services and safety of the community, and 3 is integrity of the town government. Let me explain how they're interrelated. First of all, taxes. Everyone knows that 20% of our property taxes goes to the municipal taxes. And we all know that inflation is hitting all of our pocketbooks, and that includes the town government as well. Fortunately, we have had some strategic planning that has taken place, and let me explain that. We have what they call Capital Reserve Funds, which I call savings accounts. These were established years ago to be able to save up for large purchases so we don't have to take a bond out. Now, for example, we are going to be getting a long-awaited fire truck in June. When we ordered that, we had saved up the money so we could pay cash. That way we are saving money, and we're saving the spikes that can occur during some tax years. It has been my philosophy, and a lot of the philosophy of a lot of the town councilors, is to be able to monitor the tax rate so it stays fairly stable without it increasing and spiking as much as possible. Now, services. We have a terrific fire, police department, DPW, town government. But just like any household, the costs of that have gone up as well. But that doesn't mean we have to maintain the services. Our safety within the community is very important. So again, that works with taxes. I have tried to be conscious of those services, maintaining them, and at the same time, try to stabilize the tax rate. And finally, town government integrity. I think it's really important that citizens trust their municipal government. And hopefully I have attained that trust from citizens and want to be able to maintain it. And also maintain the transparency that I have always maintained through the years. I've always been open to any questions, even disagreements, and that's okay. That's what happens within the town council members. But there has to be a respect that's maintained. And in order to do that, you have to be able to feel comfortable verbalizing what you want. And so really it's the intent of trying to do the best by the citizens that I want to be able to communicate to you. So with that, I'm asking for your vote, Nancy Harrington for Town Council on April 9th. Thank you very much.
Hello, Merrimack. My name is Charles LaFond, and I'm running for Town Council in 2024. And I'm looking forward to possibly getting you motivated and getting you out to vote. Right now, I believe we're in an American crisis. We need counselors that have a firm grasp of the Constitution and our individual rights and want to protect those individual rights. And I am that counselor. I am different than the other counselors that are running for this race. You will see that they are all incumbents. And much of where we're at today, the situation that we're facing, and all of the crises that we seem to be managing from a day-to-day basis are all as a result of all of that management that has brought us to this point. Granted, it's not all the fault of the town councilors, it's not all the fault of any one individual, but it is an American crisis. It's one that we all have to come together and say with resolve that we need to fix this. We need to move forward in a concentrated and directed way, and basically, I'm the candidate that I think can bring all of that to you. I can unstick any of the stuck things that we have in this town, and above all else, I can support individual rights. Individual rights is what set this country apart from every other country in the world. We cultivate our land, we cultivate our properties, we basically generate our happiness through our homes. And if that is not a secure place, if that is not a place you can enjoy comfort and your rights, then, my friends, there's something we have to do today. And I look forward to your vote, and I hope you'll get out and tell others about me and join in our effort to take back our town to the people and to the service of the people. And hope to see you. I'll be out on Election Day. Thank you.
Hello, Merrimack friends and neighbors. My name is Nancy Murphy. I'm a current second-term New Hampshire State Representative for the Town of Merrimack, and also serve as one of Merrimack's 7 elected town councilors. I'm seeking re-election to one of the 3 nonpartisan town council seats in the ballot and would like to ask for your support. In case we've not yet met, I'll tell you about myself in hopes that you will consider voting for me on April 9th. I married my high school sweetheart 45 years ago at the end of my junior year in college, and have always loved children, and being torn between medicine and social work, graduated from Boston University School of Nursing with the plan to find a position that would offer me the opportunity to explore both of those interests. I worked as a nurse in a Boston pediatric hospital that, in addition to general pediatrics, specialized in caring for children with disabilities and mental health challenges, and also had an inpatient rehabilitation program for children who'd experienced childhood trauma. Little did I know that this experience would change my life. My husband and I became foster parents to one of my discharged pediatric patients, and within a few short years, we had 3 daughters of our own. Wanting to raise them in a safe, healthy environment with the wide breadth of enrichment opportunities and options for community involvement, we moved our family to Merrimack, our home for the past 38 years. My husband opened a small business here, and like many young families, in no time at all, we found ourselves immersed in our children's activities and involved as volunteers at PTA Kindergarten, Reed's Ferry School, the MYA, and Our Lady of Mercy Church. The years flew by, and I sought opportunities to work with vulnerable children and those at risk in various nursing and other roles. I loved working as a paraeducator with children and teens with special needs, and left only when I was offered a job at DCYF, New Hampshire's Child Protection Agency, as the Foster Care Health Program Nurse Coordinator in the Manchester, Salem, Nashua, and Concord district offices. This nursing role changed both my nursing career and the composition of our family. I am now retired from my role at DCYF, where I was responsible for the oversight of health care for all children in out-of-home placement due to child abuse and neglect. But I will be forever grateful for my time there and the opportunity my husband and I had to foster many DCYF-involved children eventually adopting 3 that have been placed with us. As a foster and a parent of children with many different abilities and needs, over the years I've had the good fortune to work with some amazing teachers and special educators within the Merrimack School District, as well as be involved with and maintain long-lasting family friendships with Merrimack's own New Hampshire Special Olympics team, the Merrimack Tigers. In 2016, when it was discovered that the production practices of local industrial polluter Saint-Gobain led to the PFAS contamination of our public drinking water, air, and soil, I was driven to learn all that I could about PFAS and realized that this was a far bigger and more concerning environmental and public health issue than our community had been led to believe. I saw health impacts known to be associated with PFAS exposure within my own non-biologically related family members and amongst neighbors and friends. Recognizing the relationship between environmental triggers and chronic disease, like cancer, thyroid disease, autoimmune disorders, etc., the more informed I became, and the greater numbers of meetings I attended where the answers to public questions asked seemed inadequate and at times dismissive, the more clear it became to me that I couldn't just sit back and assume that somebody else or some government entity could be relied upon to fix this. I knew I had to take action to give our community a voice. I had to be the change I wished to see. Though I wasn't quite sure what to do, I knew that I had to do something. Thankfully, I wasn't alone and met a small group of other like-minded concerned citizens, all mothers too. I became a founding member of Merrimack Citizens for Clean Water in 2018. By end of summer that year, my 2 Merrimack Citizens for Clean Water colleagues and I had made the decision to run for public office, convinced that we desperately needed change in state environmental and public health policy, and that we'd acquired enough subject matter expertise and had the motivation to drive that change in the legislature. To be honest, though I'd always voted, I never had one iota of interest in seeking any type of political office, and I'm ashamed to say wasn't always that well informed about those who were. That is certainly no longer the case for me, and I'm happy that if you're watching this video, that isn't the case for you either. Thanks for taking the time to become an informed voter. That year, the union leader did a story about PFAS contamination in Merrimack. They shared that 3 women from Merrimack Citizens for Clean Water were seeking election to the New Hampshire House to fight this battle there. It was at this time that the media first dubbed us the Water Warriors. This descriptor is still used today locally and in Concord when reference is made to our commitment to stop our exposure to PFAS, gain protections for our community and the state of New Hampshire, and hold polluters accountable for the harm they've caused. I was successful in my 2018 bid for a seat in the New Hampshire House of Representatives and served my first term as a Merrimack rep on the House Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee, where I maintained 100% attendance for all committee and House responsibilities. I was elected to the Town Council in 2021 and re-elected to the House in 2022 with the same House committee assignment. While continuing to serve concurrently on both, I still have a 100% attendance record at all House sessions and Town Council meetings. I find this dual elected official role to be very beneficial, as my role in each place affords me the opportunity to better advocate for Merrimack and the interests of our community in the other. As a New Hampshire state rep, I've sponsored 16 bills and co-sponsored 93 others, many of which have a direct impact and benefit to the Merrimack community. They cover a range of topic areas primarily related to environmental protections, health and human services, education, special education, protection of vulnerable populations, and highways and transportation. In 2019, as a result of the environmental contamination of our town, making Merrimack the site of the largest industrial environmental disaster in our state's history, I wrote and passed the bill that created the New Hampshire House 5-year, 23-member PFAS Commission. I have served on this commission since its inception, representing the Merrimack Town Council there since 2021. For the past 5 years, I've also been a member and currently serve as vice chair of the New Hampshire Senate's 16-member Commission to Study Environmentally Triggered Chronic Illness, which was precipitated by a bill I co-sponsored in 2019. Given the value of these commissions, that they are due to expire and that there remains much work to do, I have refiled these bills and seek a 5-year extension on each. It is through the important work of these commissions that we have been able to access some of the public health data so necessary to understanding and anticipating public health risks more accurately, and that will aid clinicians in the medical monitoring of their patients who may reside in our PFAS-exposed community. As Merrimack has a 42% higher than expected rate of kidney cancer, a cancer linked to PFAS, and as PFOA has been proven to cause cancer, I have continued to push New Hampshire DHHS for the full epidemiological health study I believe we deserve given our long-term PFAS exposure. There is data available here that no one is collecting. This term, I filed a bill, HB 614, that passed as part of the budget that will fund a Merrimack kidney cancer phase 3 feasibility study. It is my hope that the results of this study that is just beginning will lead to the full epidemiological health study we deserve. Stay tuned. Because the contributions of many create a great community, whether it's meeting with Boy Scout groups about citizenship and government, speaking to a group of community members at a National Alliance on Mental Illness program aimed to empower advocates, spearheading the Town of Merrimack's private well rebate program for Merrimack homeowners whose well exceed PFAS MCLs, serving as cashier every year at the annual Hot Dogs for Alzheimer's event in June at Our Lady of Mercy Church, or helping to coordinate the annual Wreaths Across America event every year at Last Rest Cemetery. I am grateful to have the opportunity to give back to the town that for so long has provided such a wonderful, safe home to my family. So, why should you vote for me on April 9th? I'm a long-term resident with a reputation as a respectful, open-minded person of integrity, and a record of proven commitment to and advocacy for improving the quality of life for community members. I have shown my willingness and ability to listen, keep an open mind, respect diverse opinions, find common ground, work together as part of a team, and make cost-effective decisions that reflect the needs, values, and best interests of our community. I have a proven track record of developing and maintaining positive working relationships with the town manager, town departments, our water municipality, colleagues, and citizens. I recognize the common sense collaboration and an understanding of the issues that impact our community leads to town government that ensures Merrimack will continue to be a great place to live. Finally, I have voted on the budget and issues important to the town in a way that recognizes the struggles of taxpayers and prioritizes making Merrimack a place where people can afford to live, where the quality of life for all residents is valued and protected, and where citizens can rely on elected officials to represent their needs. Thank you for taking the time to learn about me. Please see my personal or Nancy Murphy, New Hampshire State Representative Facebook pages for more detail. I would greatly appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Heather Robitaille and I'm running for Ethics Committee. I've been a Merrimack resident for over 20 years and I live here with my husband Rob and our daughter Katie. For my entire life, I have been committed to community involvement and volunteerism. As a teenager, I was a martial arts instructor and taught children not only self-defense, but leadership, discipline, confidence, and teamwork. I have also gotten an opportunity to volunteer in our schools, first at my daughter's school at Merrimack PTA Kindergarten and Preschool, where I served on the board and as well as an active volunteer. Then when my daughter went to Thornton's Ferry School, I got involved there as well and signed up to help out as a substitute for the district, and I am now in my second year as president of the Parents and Teachers of Thornton's Ferry with an amazing team where we bring together administrators, staff, and families. During my professional career, I spent 10 years at Fidelity Investments right here in Merrimack. I got a thorough understanding of finance and developed my leadership skills, as well as teamwork, compliance, and strategic execution. If elected to the Ethics Committee, I will be fair and impartial while upholding the highest standards of ethics and conduct. I would also like to review that the Ethics Committee is current with its bylaws and practices. So on April 9th, I ask for your vote and that you vote for Heather Robitaille for Ethics Committee. Thank you.
Hello, Merrimack. My name is Charles LaFond, and I'm running for Ethics Committee. You'll also note that I'm also running for Town Council, and I feel that this is an important position that's vitally needed in order to secure some necessary changes in town, or at least to make sure that we're adhering to proper action, proper thought. One of the things that I've based my campaign on this year is a saying that I had from my childhood. It's called truth, justice, and the American way. And I think all three of those words are very important this year. That we have to be able to look at things, look at facts, look at things that we see, and understand that they are true, that there is a justice in there, maybe a type of agrarian justice like Thomas Paine had mentioned, but a type of justice which basically certifies and guarantees that the citizens of this country are afforded the rights that are given to them under the Constitution. And it starts with ethical behavior. Ethics makes sure that everyone gets a square deal, that everyone is treated fairly, that everyone is presumed innocent, everyone gets their day in court, everyone gets a chance to speak. And that's what ethical conversations and ethical actions are about. It's about right thought, right action, and right results. And that's why I'm running for the Ethics Committee. I'd like to make a difference, and I believe I can do that for Merrimack. I love this town, and I want it to get better. Thank you all.
Hi, my name is Margie Petrovic, and I'm running for Supervisor of the Checklist for the Town of Merrimack. It's a position that the town has trusted me with for over 20 years. In 1996, someone asked me, "Do you know how to type?" And I'm like, I went to high school in the 70s. It was a class, and yes, I knew how to type. And so in the 1996 presidential election, I typed same-day voter registrations. A few years later, I was appointed when someone moved out of town, and I have been elected 2 times since then. But what is a supervisor of the checklist? How can you make a decision if you don't know what it is we do? When you go vote at an election, there is a checklist that we check your name off. That checklist has been brought there by the supervisor of the checklist. And while that checklist is at the polling place or the deliberative session, the supervisor of the checklist has to stay there to maintain its integrity. After an election, we have to update all of the voting records that changed at that particular election. We have to scan how you voted, if you went back to undeclared, your name, your address, your party. At the last presidential primary, it took us over 150 man-hours to reconcile that election, and then we had to turn right around and get ready for the deliberative sessions that just happened. And now we're currently working on getting ready for the Merrimack Village District meeting, which is on Tuesday night. So basically, it is a database management position and a clerical position. We have nothing to do with politics. We have no say in town government. We base everything we do on the statutes of the state of New Hampshire. So for me, my husband and I have moved into the town 40 years ago. 40 years ago. We have 3 children that went through the Merrimack School District. We volunteered in a lot of activities. When I first moved here, I was president of the Merrimack Welcome Wagon Club, which is now the Merrimack Friends and Family. We were heavily involved in Scouts, Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts for about 15 years. I was the Meals on Wheels coordinator at the Senior Center for 5 years. And my husband and I actually helped build Kids Cove, so we've been here a while. And for almost 30 years, I volunteered for the Merrimack School District, starting in 1991 in the first grade classroom and ending at the end of 2019 after my husband and I were the team lead mentors of the Merrimack High School First Robotics team, everyone known as Chop Shop, and they are doing amazingly well this season. So right now I want to ask you to consider voting for me. The election workers are at the forefront of fair elections. And I know so many people in Merrimack who know me and know that I am honest and I have a lot of integrity and I work hard for this community. So please consider voting for me. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank Juanita Dangel and her husband for making this happen. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this 2024 special edition of Our Town, Our Government, How Does It Work? Please take the time to consider who you wish to represent you on the school board and on the Merrimack Town Council. Please review the various articles for the school district and the town, and then go to your respective polling places to vote on Tuesday, April 9th between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Merrimack polling locations are James Mastercola Upper Elementary School. It's located at 26 Babusick Lake Road. The Merrimack Middle School, located at 31 Madeline Bennett Lane. And St. John Newman Church, located at 708 Milford Road. If you are unable to vote in person on April 9th, please contact the Town Clerk's Office at 603-424-2331 to obtain an application for a Town City Election absentee ballot. Thank you and good luck to all of our candidates this year.